back to Pabbly. In this video, we're going to learn how to create or update SendGrid contact on Gravity Forms submission. So I am an owner of a digital marketing agency, and using Gravity Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I collect my leads data. And I use SendGrid as an email marketing tool in my business. Here what I want is that as soon as by the lead, a new form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, I want to create that lead as a contact in my SendGrid account. Now creating these contacts manually is very time consuming. So what I've done is I've simply automated this entire process with the help of Pabbly Connect, which is an amazing automation and integration software. And here in this automation, I am going to build a connection between Gravity Forms and SendGrid with the help of it. So if you also want to learn about this amazing automation process step by step, for that let me take you to my screen. In this video, we're going to learn how to create or update SendGrid contact on Gravity Forms submission. So as an owner of a digital marketing agency, I use Gravity Forms to effortlessly collect leads, data and inquiries from my website. On the other hand, I use SendGrid to manage my email marketing campaigns, ensuring that my communication with my lead is professional, timely and impactful. By automating the process of creating and updating SendGrid contact whenever a new form submission is going to be done by our leads using Gravity Forms, I maintain an up-to-date email list without any manual efforts. This seamless integration allows me to focus on nurturing my leads and executing powerful email marketing strategies. And I'm going to create this amazing automation between Gravity Forms and SendGrid with the help of Pabbly Connect. So on the screen, you can see the website of Pabbly Connect, that is pabbly.com/connect. After browsing this website, we need to sign into our Pabbly Connect account. But if you're a new user, you can sign up for free and get 100 free tasks every month. So as I'm an existing user, I'm going to sign into my Pabbly Connect account. After signing in, you can see the all Pabbly apps in front of you, in which you can see all the products that Pabbly provides, from which we are going to select Pabbly Connect by clicking on this Access Now button right here. Then Pabbly Connect's dashboard is going to appear in front of you. In order to start an automation process in Pabbly Connect, we need to create a workflow. For that, click on this top right corner button right here that says Create Workflow. A dialog box is then going to appear in front of you, which is asking for the workflow name and for us to select a folder. So for the name of my workflow over here, I'm going to give it as Create or Update SendGrid Contact on Gravity Forms Submission. So this is the name that I want to give to my workflow, okay? After that, it is asking for us to select a folder. So on the left side of my screen, you can see I've created multiple folders in my Pabbly Connect account, from which I'm going to select a specific folder in which I want to save this workflow in. For that, click on this drop down. These are the folders from which I'm going to select Gravity Forms Automations as the folder I want to save this workflow in. After giving the name to the workflow and selecting the folder, I'm going to click on this Create button in order to create a workflow. A workflow is created in the name of Create or Update SendGrid Contact on Gravity Forms Submissions, and you can see that there are two windows in front of you. One says Trigger, other says Action. So what is Trigger and Action? Trigger and action are the two most important steps of our automation process, because our process depends on these two principles. Over here, trigger says when this happens and action says do this. That means what is action? Action is a response towards our trigger. In an automation process, there can be only one trigger step and multiple action steps. We are going to set up our trigger step first. And for the trigger application over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select it as Gravity Forms. As with the help of Gravity Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I collect my leads data. I want that as soon as a new form submission is going to be done by the lead using Gravity Forms, automatically the trigger over here should capture the response of that. And that is why for my trigger application, I've selected it as Gravity Forms. And then for the trigger event over here, I'm going to select it as New Response. After selecting the trigger application and the event, you can see that Pabbly Connect has provided us with a webhook URL. Now using this unique webhook URL, we're going to build the connection between Gravity Forms and Pabbly Connect by following the steps given here below in the help desk. Firstly, copy this URL from here. After copying the URL, open your Gravity Forms account. So this is the form that I've created in the name of New Contact Us form in my Gravity Forms account, and I want to connect this form to Pabbly Connect. In order to connect, you have to open the edit page of the form. So this is the edit page of the form you can see right over here. And over here, if you want to connect this form to Pabbly Connect, for that click on the settings option, and from the drop down go to this webhooks section right here. As you go to land towards the webhooks page, click on this add new button right over here. here. After doing that, it is asking for the webhook name. So for the webhook name over here, I'm going to give it as new form submission. This is the webhook name that I want to give. For the request URL, I'm going to paste the webhook URL that Pabbly Connect has provided us. Request method selected as post, request format as JSON right over here. For the request headers, if you have specific headers, you can select the name and the value right over here. For the request body, I want all the fields, so I'm going to select as all fields. If you want, you can select the selected fields over here. It is asking for the webhook condition. I do not have the webhook condition, so I'm going to skip the part and simply I'm going to click on the save button right over here. It says settings updated. If I'm going to go to the webhooks page again, you can see a new webhook in the name of new form submission has been successfully added in my Gravity forms right over here. As now this webhook URL has been added towards the form that we have created using Gravity forms. Now, if I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down, it is saying waiting for webhook response. So now to check whether Gravity Forms is connected to Pabbly Connect or not, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to do the test form submission of this form that I've created using Gravity Forms. And after doing the test submission, I'm going to check whether Pabbly Connect captures the response of the test submission being done or not, okay? So now let us do the test submission. For that, click on this preview button right over here. As I'm going to click on this preview button, it is asking for the leads details. We're going to fill in the dummy details. For the first name of my lead over here, I'm going to write it as test. For the last name over here, I'm going to write it as lead. For the address over here, I'm going to write it as 11 Old Town. It is asking for the city next. So for the city over here, I'm going to write it as Bhopal. For the state over here, I'm going to write it as Madhya Pradesh. Okay, for the zip code over here, I'm going to enter a dummy zip code right over here. Country, I'm going to select as India. For the email address over here, I'm going to write it as testlead333@pabblytudes.com. And for the phone number over here, I'm going to enter a dummy mobile number. After filling in all the required details, I'm going to click on the submit button to the test submission. It says thanks for testing the form. As now the test submission is done, I'm going to go back to my workflow and scroll down. Over here, if I'm going to wait for a few seconds, you can see we have received the response of the form submission in our trigger. For the phone number, this is the mobile number of our lead. This is the email, that is testlead333@pabblytudes.com. If I'm going to further scroll down over here, date and time of the form submission, you can see right here. If I'm going to scroll down, country as India. For the zip code, this is the zip code. State is Madhya Pradesh. City is Bhopal. Address is 11 Old City. First name is test and last name is lead. As now the response of the form submission has been captured in our trigger, this means that Gravity Forms has now been connected to Pabbly Connect and our trigger setup is done. After setting up our trigger step, we need to set up our action step. My objective is that as soon as by the lead of form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, automatically that lead should be created as a contact in my SendGrid account. Now for that, for my action application over here, I'm going to select it as SendGrid right over here. And for the action event, I'm going to select as add or update contact, and then I'm going to click on this connect button. A window is going to appear in front of you, on which click on add new connection, or else you can select the existing connection that you have. After that, over here it is asking for the token. Using this token, we are going to build the connection between SendGrid and Pabbly Connect. And to have the token, you have to follow the steps given here below in the help desk. For that, log into your SendGrid account. This is my SendGrid account. And now to have the token from the left side of the panel, what you have to do is you have to go to the settings option right here. From the given options, go to API keys option right over here. As you go to land towards the API keys page of your SendGrid account, click on this create API key button. It is asking for the key name. So for the key name over here, I'm going to write it as new lead contact. Okay, this is the key name that I want to give. I'm going to give the full access and then I'm going to click on this create and view button right here. This is the key. I'm going to copy it from here and paste this token right over here. And then I'm going to click on this save button to create the connection. As you can see, SendGrid has now been connected to Pabbly Connect. After connecting over here, it is asking for us to select a list. So in my SendGrid account, I have created multiple lists you can see right over here. And I want to create the contact in the list in the name of new leads. I want to create contacts in this list right over here. So for the list from the drop down, I'm going to search for new leads and I'm going to select the list as new leads right here. Okay, I want to create contact in this list right over here. After that, it is asking for all these details with the help of which we are going to create a contact in our SendGrid account. So for the data of these fields, what we're going to do is we're going to map the data. Now what is mapping? Mapping means inserting data from the previous step. So we're going to insert the data from the previous step of this workflow. And how it works is that as soon as I'm going to click on this field, this was the previous step, you can see right here. As I'm going to click on it, this is the same response that was captured in our previous step. In this response, we have received our leads data and I want to create this same lead as a contact in my SendGrid account. So for the data of this email field, I'm going to select the data of the email of my lead from my previous response, as I want to create this lead as a contact in my SendGrid account. As I've selected the data from my previous response, the data is mapped. And as I have mapped the data has now become dynamic. That means now whenever a new response is going to be captured in our previous step, automatically the new data is going to be updated in place of this mapped data. It is asking for alternate email. I do not have the field, so I'm going to skip the part. For the first name over here, I'm going to map the data of the first name that I've received right over here. That is right here. For the last name, I'm going to map the data of the last name right over here. Okay. Next, it is asking for the unique name. I do not have the field, so I'm going to skip the part. For the address over here, I've received the address of my lead, so I'm going to map the data of the address. For the city over here, I'm going to map the data of the city that I've received right here. For the state, I'm going to map the data of the state that I've received right here. For the postal code, we have received the postal code, so I'm going to map the data of the postal code. For the country, I'm going to map the data of the country right over here. That is right here, okay? It is asking for the mobile number, so I'm going to map the data of the mobile number. And for the WhatsApp number also, I'm going to map the same data. Then it is asking for the line in the Facebook, which I do not require, so I'm going to skip the part, and simply I'm going to click on this Save and Send Test Request button. As I've done that, we have received the ID, which is a positive response. So now I'm going to open my SendGrid account. So this is the list in the name of new leads. I'm going to create a contact in this list, so I'm going to refresh this page over here. As I've refreshed the page, you can see a new contact has been created in my SendGrid account. Let us tally the response of the contact. Name comes over here as test lead. First name is test, last name is lead. Email is testlead333@pabblytudes.com. Address comes over here as 11 Old Town, city as Bhopal. This is the postal code. State is Madhya Pradesh with the country as India. For the WhatsApp number, this is the mobile number, and this is the phone number of our lead. So as the lead has been created as a contact in our SendGrid account, this means that we have successfully created an automation between Gravity Forms and SendGrid with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now to sum up till now what we have done, I am an owner of a digital marketing agency, and using Gravity Forms, I have created a form with the help of which I collect my leads data, and this form is on my website. And I use SendGrid as my email marketing tool in my business. Over here for the trigger, I've selected as Gravity Forms new response, as whenever by the lead a form submission is going to be done using Gravity Forms, the trigger over here is going to capture the response of the form submission. And using the leads details that has been captured over here in our trigger, using this action step that is SendGrid add or update a contact, that lead is going to be created as a contact in my SendGrid account. And with Pabbly Connect, in this manner, I build a connection between these two applications. So this was it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Not just with these applications, you can create automation between multiple other applications with the help of Pabbly Connect. If you have any questions, you can contact us on support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can check the queries on forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, then you can check out this link. If you like this video, please do subscribe to our channel, hit on the like button, comment on if you have any questions or doubts, and please share this video.